You can have a great plan. You can know exactly what needs to be done. You can even have the resources to do it and still get nowhere if nobody understands the vision. Because people don't give their time, money, talents, and energy simply because a leader has a good plan. People want to be part of something that is bigger than themselves. That's why leaders need to know how to cast vision convincingly. Vision is a mental picture of what could be, communicated with a passion that says it should be. So first, we need to be clear about our vision and how do we talk about it. When do we talk about it? Where do we talk about it? How often do we talk about it? And perhaps most importantly, are we all using the same language when we talk about it? Because you may have a beautiful mission statement on the wall, but if nobody can remember it, it is not portable and not transferable. You might have heard the expression, vision leaks, and this is exactly the problem. So we need to figure out a compelling way to talk about our vision to make it stick. The first principle is simple. State it simply. Complex sentences and paragraphs don't communicate vision very well. Vision needs to be transferable. There's a phrase that illustrates this perfectly. Memorable is portable. You can remember that phrase, and because you can remember it, you can repeat it. That creates a tension for us as leaders. Do we create a complete statement that nobody remembers? Or do we want a simple statement that people can carry and repeat? Sometimes simplicity means the statement is incomplete. But if people remember it, they can use it. Think about Donald Trump's campaign slogan, "Make America Great Again." Whether you like the slogan or the politician is irrelevant to the point. You know the vision. It's short, it's memorable, it's portable. Now think about how we might express a church vision. For example, leading people into a growing relationship with Jesus. If someone asks, "What does your church do?" you can say, "We lead people into a growing relationship with Jesus." Or perhaps your children's ministry has the vision to create an environment that children love to attend. If someone asks, "Do you run a Sunday school?" the answer is simple. We create an environment that children love to attend. That's vision people can carry. But having a vision, a simple vision, isn't enough. We also have to cast it convincingly. And one of the best biblical examples of this is found in Nehemiah. Nehemiah didn't simply stand up one day and say, "I've got a great idea. Let's rebuild the walls." He first established why the walls needed to be rebuilt. So he defined the problem. The vision is a solution to a problem that we must solve. Nehemiah said, in effect, we are in trouble. Jerusalem's walls are broken down and we are mocked by our neighbors. He created an understanding of the problem before presenting the solution. And that's important. If you present the solution without people understanding the problem, you haven't created the emotional tension that makes the vision compelling. Imagine saying, "We're going to plant another church in the city." The obvious response might be, "Why? There are already plenty of churches." But perhaps that's not the problem. Perhaps the problem is, there isn't a church in the city that is intentionally leading people into a growing relationship with Jesus. Now the vision makes sense. Or perhaps your research shows that there are 3,000 people living within 10 kilometers of your church who aren't attending any church. Now you have a problem that needs to be addressed. The question becomes, what is God calling us to do about it? So the second step is to offer the solution that God has given us. Once people understand the problem, present the vision as the solution. Nehemiah's answer was, we need to rebuild the walls. For us it might be, we need to create an environment that connects with outsiders. Or we need to create an environment that children love to attend. Or we need to lead people into a growing relationship with Jesus. The vision becomes the answer to the problem. And then we need to ask, why us and why now? Nehemiah then had another important part of his story. Why should we do this? And why should we do it now? He could point to the favor that God had given him with the king. He had been given permission. He had access to timber. He had resources. He could demonstrate that God had already begun providing what was needed. That makes a vision much more compelling. Don't simply say, this is a good idea. Explain, this is the problem. This is what we believe God is calling us to do about it. And this is why we believe we are the people to do it now. This leads to the third principle. Position and present your vision as the solution to a problem that must be addressed immediately. People are much more likely to respond when they understand there is a problem, it matters, there's a solution, and we have the opportunity to do something about it now. The vision gives people a reason to act. And then repeat it regularly. Vision leaks. So the fourth principle is repeat it regularly. Don't announce your vision once and assume everybody remembers it. It needs to be built into the rhythm of your organization. When you ask for volunteers, connect the request to the vision. Don't simply say, we need people to work in children's church. That sounds like babysitting duty. Instead, say we need people to help create an environment that children love to attend so that we can lead them and their parents into a growing relationship with Jesus. You're inviting them to participate in the vision. That's a very different proposition. Use the vision in meetings, use it in announcements, use it when recruiting volunteers, use it when making decisions. Use it until people begin saying it without you. That's when you know the vision is starting to stick. The fifth principle is celebrate it repeatedly. If something moves you towards the vision, celebrate it. Tell the stories. Show people what happened. For example, when someone is baptized, don't simply announce the baptism. Let the person tell the story. Create a space for people to share their testimony. Let the church hear how God has changed their life. Because stories give people a picture of the vision becoming reality. And when people see that the vision is actually working, they become much more willing to participate. So don't just talk about the vision. Show people the fruit of the vision. And finally, as a leader, embrace it personally. This may be the most important one for leaders. You cannot continually ask people to do something that you aren't willing to do yourself. If the vision includes people being involved in community groups, you should be in a group. If the vision involves serving, you should be serving. Your leadership communicates. I'm not asking you to make this part of your lifestyle while I stand outside it. I'm asking you to make it part of your lifestyle because it's already part of mine. People follow what leaders genuinely embrace. There are also some interesting ways to tell whether your vision is actually becoming part of the organization. When you look at new projects, you might ask, will this move us toward our vision? Because new is often attractive, but new is not necessarily better. Sometimes new is simply a distraction from what is important. Then also listen to the prayer requests. What are people praying about? Prayer requests reveal what people are concerned about. If nobody is praying about the problem your vision is designed to address, that may indicate a problem. Are people actually carrying the burden of the vision? And then listen to the complaints. Not every complaint needs to be acted upon, but pay attention. Are people complaining about things connected to the vision? If your vision is to reach outsiders, are people concerned about how outsiders experience your church? If your vision is discipleship, are people asking how they can help others grow? Sometimes complaints reveal a problem in implementing your vision. So let's bring this together. A compelling vision should be simple, memorable, transferable, clearly connected to a real problem, presented as a solution, connected to why us and why now, repeated regularly, celebrated repeatedly, and personally embraced by the leader. And remember, vision attracts people. It attracts leaders. It attracts talent. It attracts resources. It attracts money. People would often rather give money to a vision than simply give money to a need. A need says, we need money. A vision says, look at what we can accomplish together. And that's important because the vision we're talking about in this series isn't simply about building a better church program. We're asking a much bigger question. What is Jesus calling us to do? In the previous session, we learned to plan the work. Now we're learning how to get people to see the destination with us. Because you cannot expect people to commit their time, gifts, and resources to something they don't understand. And you can't expect them to be passionate about something you're not passionate about. So make the vision simple. Make it compelling. Repeat it. Celebrate it. Live it. And give people a reason to say, I want to be part of that. In the next session, we're going to look at another important leadership principle. Teach less for more. How do we communicate what people actually need to know in a way that they can understand, remember, and apply?